Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Online. We have with us automatically in the room Uncle James Bashir. Uncle, how are we doing?
We're doing okay. Everything's good.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, Uncle, give us an update. Obviously, you know you're back in training with Ivana Habazan. How's that going?
Everything's going smooth. 2 weeks to go. So we just doing moderate training now. We're not going all out yet, but we're keeping in shape. We've been here now for a period of 5 weeks. So we're just applying the technique day by day and taking it easy. Can't do too much too soon because I don't want her to peak too soon. No, we got four weeks, I think.
What's it like being out there in Colombia?
It's a very pleasant atmosphere. I mean, you know, where I'm staying at anyway. I mean, every country has, you know, where we're staying at, where our campus set up at, it's pretty moderate, good people. You know, everything's going smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, basically everybody wants to provide for their families, you know, make every day. So everything is going smoothly, and the people that we're around is pretty good.
Yeah, connection's not that great at the moment. I'm losing in and out all the time. You're breaking up.
Okay. Let me see if I can come back a little bit, you know.
Okay.
How about now?
Let's keep talking. So, all right. So you must have seen what's been going on in the boxing world. Dillian Whyte, first and foremost.
What do you say about Dillian Whyte?
Uncle Bashir is there's some noise in the background, so apologies for that. Dillian Whyte, the whole saga with him, and all that stuff. How's that?
It's not good for Dillian. I think that Dillian's going to have problems with the situation. I've heard stories that they exonerated him. They said that Vada did a testing and said that Vada's tests came up negative. So I don't know what to believe right now, but I do know that it doesn't look good for Dillian Whyte because he keeps being associated with this drug thing. I think that the people in boxing have to put their foot down. The people in boxing have to put their foot down concerning the logistics of boxing. You know, if you get caught using drugs, you're out. Just kick them out.
But hold on. The first time he got caught legally is considered him unknowingly. So he didn't knowingly take the drug.
Well, he said that he took an over-the-counter drug. I know that he was in Vladimir Klitschko's camp. Very first time he was suspended for 2 years.
Right.
And he said that he took something over the counter. You know, so that happens. That happens, okay? But it needs to stop happening. The boxers need to know what they're taking before they're taking it. They're gonna find out whether it's substance that they're taking it and will it be approved by commission? They need to start doing some only examination on their own. You can't just say come to a fight and compete and then say, "Oh, I didn't know because I took it." No, you got to examine it beforehand.
All right. What do you make on this thing about him not getting a title fight for over 600 days with WBC?
Well, I think that's wrong. You know, I spoke out against it in a couple of posts that I did. I think that's wrong. I think that he did everything that was required of any boxing position to do. He fought the who's who of the heavyweights, and he qualified to fight for that title for some time ago. So I don't think that was right. You know, I don't think that was right. But there's no justification for him to get frustrated, angry, emotional, and use drugs, if that's the case.
Is there anything within your mindset that would think he potentially could have been set up? Because it looked like nobody was really cared about him getting a title fight with the WBC.
Well, anything is possible in this sport now because they don't have no overall commissions. You know, you got different commissions in different locales. You know, this commission says one thing, that's a commission says another thing. Instead of having an overall boxing czar, they need a czar, and they need people put in place to make sure that that saw is not corrupted either. You know, if you make a boxing saw, that gives a person a lot of authority, a lot of power. Those people have to be held in check by other people to make sure that they're controlled, that they don't become corrupt, that they don't become money takers, you know, and other way lookers, you know. So, yeah, you need a saw to correct those who are boxing. But it could be a case where somebody set him up, you know, where somebody arranged to set him up. Anything can happen in boxing because boxing is a bastard sport. Nobody gives a hell. Nobody cares.
What do you make of it? I mean, what do you make of referees and judges being in hotels with the same place as the promoter the night before, or going to dinner with the promoter the night before?
I don't like it. I never did, you know. You know, you hobnobbing with the person that those relationships doesn't become bonding, you know, if you will, and social partners in so many words. How can you be around a person socializing with and not become friendly with them or become enemies with them? You're gonna become either one or the other. So no, I think that is an improper thing to do. I think that the judges and referees should be in one hotel, and the boxing who's who should be in another hotel.
I've heard stories of high-profile referees and judges that have been manipulated by having women to their hotel rooms and on tabs at hotel rooms. Talk to me about that. How can they judge or do their job properly?
That's been going on ever since I can remember, you know. And I'm starting out, you know, in the late 60s, early 70s. And that's the norm. I mean, I watched different sanctioning bodies, different commissions, different who's who that's surrounding the boxes, where they're hobnobbing and rubbing shoulders with all types of people, from numbers runners to coke dealers to prostitutes or to call girls, if there's a difference between the two. So this is nothing new. But the commissioners know, but they don't have any authority to control that. So who's going to stop it?
But surely that affects the way a judge will judge a fight. Would it not?
That's why the modern rule technology has to be put in place to check what these promoters, what these judges, and what these referees are doing. As it stands, a promoter, a judge or referee makes a decision in the stands, even though you have modern technology to conflict with their judgment that they're making. You have a modern technology that can conflict with that, but nobody uses the modern technology. So what is the word? What is the word of the modern technology?
What about retraining judges and retraining referees?
Retraining?
Yes, judges and referees.
What's that, something to drink? What is that? Well, what is that, something new?
Well, what Wilder suggested it. He said referees and judges should be retrained.
Let me say something. This has been going on forever. They always say, the judges and referees have to be retrained. The judges and referees, every time something happens, they say, the judges and referees have to be retrained. It's the same thing with police brutality. Police go out and kill somebody, kill a few people. The police have to be retrained. The police have to be retrained. How many fucking times do they have to be retrained? How many times before they stop killing people?
Well, then,
how many times does fatalities have to happen in the ring? How many times do people have to be violent? How many times have fighters' careers be damaged by those people sitting behind the desk that's supposed to be judging the fight, that's drunk, that's high, you know, or that's being bored? This has been going on long enough, you know, and you got judges, you have referees, you know, and you have other people involved in this stuff. It's a graft situation. Any fool can see. Proving it is another thing. You understand? But graft is apparent in the sport of boxing.
There are people I talk to in boxing that say there's no corruption in boxing.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. There's as much corrupt in boxing today as it was in 1980. You know, they're just a little smarter, you know,
slicker.
But any fool can see what some of the decisions that are rendered in boxing. Any fool can see. You know, the novice fan can see that their corruption had a hand in the decisions. You know, the Dillian Whyte fight versus Rivas, I thought those scores was way off. Scores was way off. You know, I mean, those scores were just scores. You know, but when they made the assessment, they made the rule, or this is what we saw. You know, everybody said that, well, you can't change the judge's decision. Why can't we? If we got modern technology, why can't we? These people are destroying other people's careers. You know, men and women out there boxing put their life, blood fluid into boxing, into training, into preparing, into enduring pain and suffering. And then some jerk behind a desk gonna say, okay, this person won, the other person did. And the whole world knows that the situation is like. So when does modern technology take a role in this decision making? And if not, why do we use it? Why do we even consult modern technology if we're not going to use it?
Let me ask you a question. If you were in Oscar Rivas' corner, what would you be doing now?
I would be protesting. I would demanding answers. How could you change gloves at the last minute? You're going to a fight, those are the gloves we agreed on. And why? I would be asking, why was there a sudden glove change? Why? For what reason?
Is that normal?
No, that's abnormal. You go to a rules meeting. At the rules meeting, they always bring out the gloves. Both fighters, both corners are there, present, and the fighters try on gloves, and they agreed to set of gloves number 1, and then they try on gloves and agreed to gloves set number 2. So you have 2 pairs of gloves on glove set number 1. Nobody changes nothing. Nobody has the authority to change. But the word is that Dillian Whyte changed gloves at the last minute. Now, I decided I want to wear it, but nobody approved them. The Rivas corner had not approved the glove. Nobody was present when the glove change took place. They took the glove, they wrapped them up and sent them to the ring. That's not right.
But okay, how does that explain to boxing fans how a change of gloves can affect a fight or a fighter or the outcome of a fight? Uncle, you're breaking up.
All right, he went into. I said, Rivas. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Rivas corner didn't have any. Rivas corner had no knowledge that the glove change had taken place. He had no knowledge of that. You know, but if he had knowledge of that, certainly it would have been weighing on his mind, because those gloves could have been 8 ounces instead of 10 ounces. Or they could have been something else with the gloves that gave Dillian Whyte the upper hand.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I know there's such thing as puncher's gloves. So if they opted it, one of the things they could possibly do is not give Rivas the puncher's gloves.
Well, the issue was that Dillian Whyte changed gloves at the last minute, and I'm trying to figure out why.
Why would what advantage does that give Dillian Whyte?
Huh?
What advantage does that give Dillian Whyte in layman's terms?
I don't know. But I do know that there was a change of gloves at the very last minute. And I'm asking a question like thousands of people must be asking the question right now as to why.
Okay.
Why?
So VADA say he's passed the test. The B samples come back that he's passed the test, but it's a movie going on in the background, people. That's why you're hearing the noise. So the VADA said, it's really loud, Uncle. It's really loud.
I'm sorry for the background noise, but I'm next to a movie, you know.
Oh, now Ruben's saying the B sample is pending, but he passed the VADA test, and also the UCAD is saying there's a problem. But the UCAD one is the same UCAD that pulled Tyson Fury up as well.
I'm so sick and tired of drug use in boxing, and I know there must be thousands of other people who feel the same way I do. I don't partake in any of that, you know. If I'm working with boxers and they're doing that there, when I come in the door, I suggest to them that please don't use drugs, because if I find you using drugs, I'll walk out. I'll walk out in the middle of a training camp if I find any signs of use of any kind of drugs, because I don't want that associated with my life, with my career in boxing. I don't want to be associated with that. You know, I don't want to be associated with that, any kind of drug use or any kind of corruption in boxing. Because see people go in the ring and they're boxing and they're putting their lives on the line, and then somebody come in there full of drugs and stuff and injure somebody and kill somebody, then that makes me a part of that, and I don't want that on my conscience.
Let me ask you another question. In terms of setup, is there any possibility in your mindset that Dillian could get set up?
Yeah, of course. Anything can happen in today's wrestling, of course.
Because the 600 days plus, he never got a title shot. For one reason or another, he never got a title shot. And now this thing with this situation with WBC and UCAD, it seems quite convenient now to be able to shift Dillian out of the way.
So anything is possible, because again, that it is no structure. You know, one commission has their rules and regulations, another commission has their rules and regulations. There is no overall boxing czar. If they had a boxing czar, then that czar can put in place different rules and regulations that would affect overall boxing. I don't care where it's at in the world.
Just to clarify something, the first time Dillian Whyte was banned from boxing or suspended from boxing, the legal term is it was unknowingly. Unknowingly. That's the legal term for it, which means he didn't know what he was taking. He didn't know it was, and it was only while he was taking it, the substance became banned. So it was unknowingly. That's the term. So we can't say he popped before, because it was unknowingly. Povetkin popped 3 times. 3 times, at least. Dillian Whyte is unknowingly. So he's got a legal case. He could say, listen, the first time was unknowingly. this situation now that's going on now, well, we don't know what the situation is. We know that something's up, but I don't know what they're doing.
You know, most of the people in the sport who's been busted using drugs did so unknowingly, so-called. All right. So now they're starting to be like the boy who cried wolf. You know, they have to do some research before taking these different drugs, over the counter or not. They have to do research on them to see that the commissions, that it will not violate any commission drug tests. You know, they have to be aware of what they're taking. There's just too much of it. This person get popped for drugs. That person get popped for drugs. This person get popped for drugs.
Yeah,
and it becomes a routine story.
But if you remember what I said something about 3 or 4 years ago. This PED thing. When it's legitimate and it's real and it's genuine, yes, they need to be done. But what about it being used to just get people out of boxing and as character assassination? Because with anything, it can be abused. We know this.
Again, I'll allude to the same statement I just made. The boxers, the management, the trainers has to be aware of what the boxers is using. You know, they have to be aware. But something inside of me says that much of the time, the management and even the promoters know about these things. You know, it's all in the effort to win. There's crimes being committed here, you know, just to win. I want to go the old school way. I want to do it the way Joe Louis did it. Ezra Charles did.
Do you believe he has? Do you think he has popped though? In your opinion, knowing, I mean, you've been around Dillian Whyte. Do you think he's popped?
I don't want to say yay or nay on that there, because if I say yay, it's an assassination attack. You know, attack on his character. I don't want to say that. You know, I don't want to say that about any boxer. You know.
I get that. All right, let's talk about the fight itself. What do you think of the Dillian Whyte fight with Rivas? Rivas.
I thought it was closer to what the judges had it.
Okay.
And I was voting for Dillian Whyte in that fight.
And I said I thought Rivas would have closed the show on him, and he almost did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He almost closed the show. You know, he almost closed the show. Rivas did a good job. He did a better job than what I expected him to do.
Sound cool? I'm getting closer with these predictions, eh? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, he did a better job, a far better job than what I anticipated he would do. He deserves respect, you know, because he came to fight. He came to fight, and he did a good job.
I expect him to. What about the other tip I had? David Price beating Dave Allen.
David Price boxed very good in that fight. He used a good jab.
Yes.
He used good distance. He was patient, you know, and he won the fight. He broke Dave Allen down, and he won the fight. So David Price could be a late bloomer. If he pulls up another bout like that in succession, hey, he could be back in the picture.
I'm telling you, Uncle, he could be back in the picture. Dave Allen is reported to have headaches, and he's got vision problems, and he said his health deteriorated and was taken out of the ring on a stretcher. He's now talking about coming back and fighting again. Your thoughts?
Dave Allen?
Yes.
He was taken from the ring for the Price fight?
Yeah, on a stretcher. Yes.
Well, you got a big, strong guy like Price hitting you in your head for 10 rounds. I can understand that. You know, Dave Allen need to have some time to be checked out by doctors, a battery of doctors, you know, brain doctors especially, if he's having headaches and stuff. He needs to take time out, get checked out, and then make his comeback. But he got beat up in the Price fight. Price controlled everything in that fight.
A lot of people had a lot of hope with Dave Allen. Why do you think that is?
Well, he was on an upswing. He was doing good, you know. And he didn't really do bad in the Price fight. He just didn't do enough. He didn't take enough chances to be a victor in that fight. He was fighting like in slow motion, you know. I thought that he could have done more to establish his jab to get inside. But he was like dragging his ass in that fight, you know?
Yeah. Who would you like to see David Price fight next?
I'd like to see him fight like a Chisora.
Okay.
You know, I'd like to see him fight Chisora.
But Chisora's gonna fight. Yeah. Chisora's gonna fight Parker though.
Or Parker, you know, I think that Price merits putting in the big fights now. You know, because he can't take the slow boat to China coming back. He got a good win over Dave Allen, so let's keep up momentum by putting them in. You got to put them in, you know, with guys like that there. I mean, any of the guys that's up and coming, you know.
What about Charles Martin? Charles Martin, David Price.
Yeah, I think that's a good fight. I think that's a really good fight. I think David Price versus Tyson Fury is a good fight.
I think that's a good fight too, actually.
You know, I think it's a good fight.
That's
where David Price is right now in his career.
What did you make? Know? What did you make of Daniel Dubois' performance against Nathan Gorman?
It was a good performance. It was a good performance. I liked this performance. And it went almost like I told you it was going to go.
I had no doubt that Dubois was going to knock him out. You can't walk. You cannot fight like that. Dropping your hands down, left hand down by your side, and Dubois is a known puncher, and you want to stand right in front of the ranger for him, you're going to get knocked out.
I got Dubois winning the world title in 2020.
Hey, I think Dubois needs a trainer. I think he needs an experienced trainer next to him now. I think his team have done well, but I think he needs that next step up.
Yeah, but a lot of times, you know, most of the boxers, especially in the UK, they won't make a move until something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, they're prone to embrace the trainers as long as they're winning. So they don't really have time or room to do maintenance on their own styles. You know, they don't have time to do maintenance to critique what they're doing and how could they do it better. You know, I see some things in Daniel Dubois that could change. But like I said, I'm not here to train trainers.
Yeah, you are.
You know, I'm here to observe, you know, and I observe different things in Daniel's style that can use an upgrade, you know, if you will. But overall, he's doing pretty good.
What did you think of Hughie Fury's performance against Samuel Peter? Hughie Fury against Samuel Peter. What were your thoughts on that fight?
You know, I never viewed the whole fight. I saw the highlights, but I never saw the whole fight.
And
what happened in the fight? What happened in the fight? They stopped the fight because of arm injury?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so, yeah. But, yeah, I thought Peter was getting too close for my liking. The one thing I found that was quite disturbing is the way that Hughie was loading up with the right hand and Peter was walking through it. He literally walking through the right hand.
Right.
That worried me.
Yeah. Hughie is not a puncher. Hughie is more of a boxer type, you know? He's a boxer type, you know? And he likes to box. He likes to move, you know? But sometimes that's hard. That's a hard thing to change in a boxer. When they like to move like that, you know?
Thank you so much. Mr. Boxing was giving you props yesterday. I love Mr. Boxing today. He's the man. So happy for Price, love, and blessings to you and Uncle Jay. Thank you so much. It was all a dream. What are your thoughts on Povetkin versus Hughie Fury?
Povetkin will knock him out. Povetkin's going to knock him out. If he doesn't knock him out, he'll beat him by unanimous decision.
Why?
Styles.
Yeah.
Hughie has a style that's tailor-made for Alexander Povetkin.
Why?
Hughie's going to exert himself. Exertion will be the key in this fight. I think around 6 or 7, Povetkin will take the fight over. If Hughie runs short on gas, he'll get knocked out 10 or 11 rounds. I like Povetkin in that fight. But
you like Samuel Peter in the last fight, and Peter Fury was quite happy to put on Twitter that you were backing Samuel Peter to beat Hughie Fury.
I said, to be correct, I said if my back was to the wall, I would take Samuel Peter. The Samuel Peter that I saw in Las Vegas. I didn't break the door down saying that Samuel would definitely win the fight. I said the Samuel Peter that I saw training in Las Vegas would beat Hughie Fury. And I thought that he would beat him, you know? And just by him walking through those right hands, as you tell me, tells you something. If Sam could have got closer, it could have been another story. You know?
Okay. Povetkin's been out the ring a year. Is that anything that people should be concerned about? And he's older now.
No. I think when the guys get like that, up in age like that, I think that the year off does them good. I don't think that it'll cost him anything to be out of a year. I mean, he's up in age, and when you take that kind of time off, it does the body good.
But he got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. Should we look into that, or stars make fights?
Yeah, stars make fights. He got caught in the Joshua fight, and they stopped it. You know, but the year off it does some good.
So you're going with Hughie Fury to get knocked up by Povetkin?
Yeah. I think that Hughie Fury either loses a decision or he gets stopped late.
You know, Peter's really going to love you. He really is going to love you now.
Yeah, but I think Povetkin wins that fight by decision. I'm just not impressed with Hughie Fury. I'm not impressed with him. You know, I mean, he's in the fight. He's in the fight with Parker. He blew it. You know? With, excuse me for 1 minute. Wait. I think that Hughie is a good boxer, but somehow I don't think that Hughie is given all that he's capable of giving. You I don't think that he's given all that he's capable. At least from my view. I mean, his dad, you know, the people around him know him better than I know him. But I just don't think that he's given all that he's capable of giving. And I think Povetkin will beat him by decision in that fight.
Okay. Uncle enjoying the music.
That's Ivana. Just watching movies.
Ivana, stop it. Tell her stop it.
No, she's into a movie group right now.
Tell her, has she seen Jungle Fever?
No.
Ask her, tell her to watch Jungle Fever.
I enjoyed that picture.
Yeah. I'm
That
sure.
was a true depiction of what life was like, and may still be like. I'm not a young man anymore, but that's what life was like when I was a young man.
Ivana needs to watch that. She needs to watch that movie. I think that'd be good for her.
Ivana don't like to watch the full movies.
Don't she?
Ivana, did you ever watch Jungle Fever?
Ivana, tell Ivana, come here. Ivana, come here a second.
I got earphones on. She can't hear you.
Tell her it's me. Tell her it's me who's on the phone.
She's not doing good today. She's not feeling too good. So.
Oh, bless her. All right. Send her my love.
Yeah, she ain't training today. She just not feeling good. One of those days. You know,
okay, bless her. All right. Send her my love. All right. Well, she's talking.
No.
All right. So we'll get back to it. So, Uncle, want to talk a bit more about Michael Hunter, who I'm a big fan of. There's still people, or one person in particular, Ruben Guerrero, who believes that Michael Hunter is going to have the same problems as Hughie Fury when it comes to knocking out big guys. Your thoughts on that?
I just think that Michael Hunter is in 2 classes above Hughie Fury when it comes to boxing. You know, and I don't mean to be really critical about Hughie Fury, but I'm just not impressed with him. You know, I mean, he's had 2 fights and 2 misses. You know, where I thought that he could have did more to try to win the fights.
But he's younger though, so I mean, he's young. So do you think there's a potential that later on, with all these fights, he could improve and become a better fighter?
Yeah, because he's young. Yeah, there's room for improvement that he could possibly improve. You know. So yeah, I believe that Hughie Fury could get better. In my opinion, you know, and again, I'm not around him every day. I'm not in his training camps. I don't know what he's working on with his dad. I don't understand that. But in my opinion, from what I've seen of Hughie Fury, he just can't turn it on when he needs to turn it on.
Yeah. Okay. Michael Hunter. We'll go back to Michael Hunter again. Ruben Guerrero thinks that Michael Hunter hasn't got the power to stop big heavyweights.
Well, Muhammad Ali had a long, illustrious career, and he was a little heavyweight, and he didn't have a big punch. And look at the people he was able to beat. So I would make the same analysis when it comes to Michael Hunter, Alexander Usyk, and those kind of guys. In my opinion, boxing wins out the day. If a person can box, if they have good boxing etiquette, they can go a long way in the sport. And I think Michael Hunter is one of those guys. I think Michael Hunter beats Hughie Fury too.
Okay, cool. Another one of Ruben's favorites is Joe Joyce. What do you think of his performance against Bryant Jennings?
Well, I think that Bryant Jennings exposed a lot of fragile points about the Joyce. I think the Joyce is ponderous. I think he's slow. I think he's predictable. I think that he's a target. You know, he's a target. When he's fighting, you know, better people, he's a target. Brian Jennings was in that fight. Brian Jennings was in that fight. If he had just stepped it up a little bit, he could have won that fight. You know, Brian Jennings is the almost kid. He's the almost kid. You know?
Ruben Guerrero says that Joyce is scary, effective. He's the heavyweight GGG. What do you think?
I wouldn't compare him to GGG. GGG is a little quicker with his thought, quicker with his hands. Joe Joyce, like I said, is predictable. He's ponderous and slow. Very, very slow. Very, very slow. I think that a guy like Usyk, Michael Hunter runs rings around Joe Joyce.
Well, they're thinking now that Joyce versus Caballero for the European title. What do you think?
I don't know the opponent.
Caballero beat Derek Chisora. That doesn't mean much.
Like I said, I don't know. I haven't had time to sit down and watch. You know, I don't have time. But if Joe Joyce fought Reeves today tomorrow, I'd take Reeves to stop.
Okay, Uncle. So you're not a big fan of Joe Joyce, then?
I am a big. I think I'm a big fan of Joe Joyce. I am a big fan of Joe Joyce, but he's slow. He's slow and he's predictable. You know, I can almost see Joe Joyce's punches coming before he throws them, you know? I like Joe Joyce, but he's slow and he's predictable. And that thing doesn't settle well in the heavyweight division.
What about Otto Walling? The great Otto Walling. What do you think of him?
Well, he's fighting Fury next, so he's got to have something.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. My friend is training him. Joey Gamache is training him.
Okay.
And I don't know much about Otto Walling, but I do know that he's gonna raise his game quick because he's in with Fury. You know, he's in with Fury. He better raise his game quick. This is his chance to make some good strides in this war by fighting Fury. But there are those people who think that Otto Walling is not ready for Fury. Otto Walling is not ready for the top 20. You know, the people from that area, you know, is telling me about Otto Walling saying that he's not ready.
Okay.
And Joey Gamache, his trainer, is telling me he is ready. So it's a wait and see thing.
Well, what do you make of Wilder's comments about Fury having a invisible belt, and he's going to save America by coming over and fighting like some Otto Walling? He says it's absolutely ridiculous, and Fury coming over with the American hat and the dress sense. He says only having 5,000 people watching him. What are your thoughts about the Fury debut and him coming back to America to fight again, to save American boxing?
Well, you know, it's just frustrating to see a fighter of his caliber, you know, fighting the Otto Wallings. Otto Walling is just a guy that's just starting his career out, you know, and these guys are green. Canelo Alvarez versus Floyd Mayweather. Floyd was smart in that he chose to fight Canelo at that time because Canelo was very green, as opposed to now. Now it would be a better fight with Floyd. So Fury is going with Floyd. He's taking these guys before these guys can get better. You know, he's taking Otto Walling now because Walling is not ready. You know, I mean, on a world circuit, he's not ready. He's still green. He still has a lot to learn. So Tyson Fury is saying, I'll take him down and I'll beat him. before he can get better.
Okay. Thoughts on Trevor Bryant, trained by Stacey McKinley?
Trevor Bryant is an unknown factor. He's unknown. You know, I mean, he's moving along. He's undefeated. Stacey's doing a good job with him in that venue. He's kept him undefeated.
He fights.
But I would like to see Fury fight him.
He's fighting Manuel Charnex for the WBA title, regular title, in September.
Yeah, but Trevor Bryant should beat Emmanuel Shaw. I don't hold Shaw in high esteem. I think that Trevor Bryant could beat him.
Yeah. Ruben Greer wants you to know a few things. He says he hopes Joyce Hunter is made, and then Uncle Bashir will eat his words. He says Fury is still has the best win of all the heavyweights, and he's still the man in the division. What are your thoughts about all that?
I think again, I won't back off for what I said. I think that Michael Hunter beats Joe Joyce. I think Michael Hunter is too quick, too smart for Joe Joyce. And the latter part of what he said, who knows?
Who knows? What did you think of the Kanowski fight against Ariola?
I think it was a barn burner.
Yep.
It was a barn burner, you know, just as I expected. But I don't see Kanowski, a guy whom I like a lot. I just don't see him taking those kind of shots from Deontay Wilder.
That's why I said
he better not try that stuff with Deontay Wilder.
I said
so he get
knocked out.
So he get knocked out.
He'll end up like Spilker, but even quicker still.
Mm-hmm. That was a brutal knockout that Spilker suffered under the hands of Chisora. Jeez. That was a brutal knockout.
I mean, I don't know what the referee was thinking. You saw he was out on his feet, and the referee allowed him to punch him again.
Yeah. They got to be a little quicker with the decisions. Because that was a brutal knockout. I mean, that's a brutal knockout. I think that Spilker should call it a day now.
He should. He needs to retire.
No sense in him competing no more because when he gets knocked out, he gets knocked out brutally. So I think that he should call it a day and move on. Try to do something else.
I made a statement the other day that the golden oldies, the veteran fighters that people are calling bums after they've lost 3 or 4 fights. I said they're the guys that are going to end up becoming world champions again, because I don't think the current crop of fighters pay the veteran fighters the respect that they deserve. Your thoughts?
I can't say yay or nay on that. You know, I do resort back to the old school boxer who lost 5, 6, 7 fights and come back and become world champion.
That's what I'm saying.
Because those boxing matches weren't lost in vain. They learned from those matches that they lost, and they came back and they were able to spring into the top 10 and ultimately to the world championship.
Marcus Brown, Jean Pascal. Talk to me about that fight.
Well, Pascal surprised a lot of people. He didn't surprise me.
It didn't surprise me either.
You know, he didn't surprise me. You know, I thought that was a dangerous fight that they was taking with Marcus Brown when the fight was made. You know, most pundits and fans figured Marcus is going to win the fight. But I thought that Marcus would win the fight, but I said that it would be a close win. A close win, you know. I think if they fought again, people think that Brown would win. I think that
Pascal knock him out.
Yeah, I think it'll be quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think his style's psychologically got into Brown's head, his style.
Mm-hmm.
Because Pascal wasn't impressed. He wasn't moved by nothing that Brown was doing.
Why would he be? He's fought Hopkins. He's fought Dawson. He's fought Kovalev. What's Brown got?
Yeah. And he's fought the current light heavyweight champion.
Who's that?
What's his name? The current light heavyweight champion.
Did he fight Bivol?
Think of it.
He didn't fight.
Yeah,
Did he fight Bivol?
Yeah, Bivol. Yeah, he fought Bivol.
That's my boy. I love Bivol. That's my boy.
Yeah, he fought Bivol. 12 rounds.
Okay. What do you make of Beterbiev and Gavoski is fighting unification fight?
Gavoski fighting who?
Beterbiev. Unification bout.
Gavoski.
Yeah.
Is fighting. I thought Gavoski was going to fight the winner.
No, it's a unification bout.
Wait a minute. You have me confused. Gavoski was supposed to fight the winner of the fight between the see who won the unified cruiserweight title. And Gavoski was supposed to. It was mandated that he has to. The winner has to fight him within 90 days.
No. Gavoski is the guy that beat Adonis Stevenson. Goizovic, that's it. Goizovic, that's it.
Yeah, okay. Goizovic. Okay, what about that?
He's fighting Beterbiev. Goizovic.
That's a rough, tough fight. You ain't got to win it. You don't have to win that fight.
Ruben Guerrero says that Beterbiev cleans him out. Beterbiev can't fight off the back foot. So, if you can push Beterbiev back.
If Beterbiev is punching on him like everybody else, they got to go. This guy's a powerful puncher.
Yeah, he's great, effective on the front foot, but he's not effective on the back foot and cannot fight on the inside. I've just broken him down for you. So if this guy, if this Ukrainian guy can walk him back down to ropes, use the jab, push him back to ropes, and fight him with his back against the ropes, he knocks him out. But if he allows Beterbiev to come forward and land in punches, he's gonna have problems. He's got to push Beterbiev back, put Beterbiev back against the ropes, and that's how you fight him. He's got no defense against the ropes. When you push him back, he's got no defense.
You know, it's strange how boxing goes, but many years ago, I knew the top 25 fighters in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah.
And now I can't think of 5 of them.
Okay.
I have no attraction to the light heavyweight division. No attraction, no appeal. And that used to be a glamour division.
It was. It was.
It was a glamour division.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of characters in that division, and those who are characters seem to get themselves in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but you know, you got Beterbiev,
Kovalev, Bivol,
Bivol, the guy we just talked about,
Beterbiev, and the Yard. Well, not champion, but Yard.
It's just nothing there right now.
Boatsi.
There's nothing there to capture my imagination. It doesn't have. It's not one of the divisions that appeals to me. Where I keep up with the who's who. That's the story of boxing nowadays.
Yeah. Next month is it's this month, isn't it? This month. End of the month. Kovalev Yard.
Is this month?
Yeah. Moment of truth.
Yeah. He's in tough. Yard is in tough. This is his chance to prove himself. This is his coming out song. I'm going Yard by knockout. That's what I'm going. Yard by knockout. Wow, that's big.
Yard by knockout. You got him. For me, I look at a few things. Andre Ward is not a natural light heavyweight. He was able to hurt Kovalev significantly. 1, 2. Alvarez is not a puncher. He was able to drop Kovalev. 3. Kovalev doesn't live the life, and athletically, Yard is far more athletic. 4. Kovalev is open to a straight right hand. And I believe that Yard is gonna throw the right hand over the top. That's for me. Mate, EJ Boxing Live, just make sure you're back here afterwards when the fight happens. Make sure you're back here afterwards with the same way you're talking now. Make sure you're back here. I noticed you weren't here when Anthony Joshua got knocked out by Ruiz, and I told you how it was going to happen. You went, nah, it's not going to happen. Joshua got himself knocked out by Ruiz, and I told you it's going to happen before it happened. Make sure you're back here. Don't go missing. Come back here for it afterwards.
That's funny. He said, EJ said that. What did he say about it?
Well, he's like, nah, Yard ain't going to do it. Yard ain't going to do it. I said, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I've seen Yard and them on them pads, yeah. He hits them pads harder. What do you mean? No, I didn't. Of course, I predicted the Ruiz fight. Go back and look at my preview. Go back and look at my preview. I told you exactly how the fight would happen. Go back and look at my preview. I haven't told you about Andrew Ruiz and the history of Andrew Ruiz. Go back and check the video. It's there. It's on YouTube. Go check it out. But anyway, back to my point, right? Yard hits those pads harder than heavyweights that I know. Now,
let me tell you something about pads.
Go ahead.
I don't put a lot of stock in that stuff, you know.
All right.
I just don't put a lot of stock in it. I mean, anybody can, pass now. They're doing a whole lot of stuff. But I look back on great fighters who just never even came near that. It just never came near
that pad stuff. That me personally. That pad stuff is all. It's all a mirage. That pad stuff. Don't even look at it. It's a mirage. It's entertainment.
Look, let's go back. Let's look at the careers of Archie Moore, Ezra Charles, Jersey Joe Walcott, Joe Lewis. Let's look at the careers of Julio Cesar Chavez, Eusebio Pedrosa, Salvador Sanchez. Those guys never, ever touch pads.
Wait, stop. All right. I'm gonna talk about Uncle. We talk about something. I'm talking about hit and not get hit. So far, to me, Yard has not lost a round, and he's showed himself to be a class above everything he's fought so far, and he's looked levels above those guys he's fought. So to me, that tells me he's got a few more levels to go. People are rating Kovalev up, but Kovalev's not the same guy since he got beat by Andre Ward. No way near the same fighter. No way near. So Kovalev, for me, is the most vulnerable of the champions. I don't want to hear anybody else afterwards, after this fight, telling me Kovalev was an old man, Kovalev didn't live the life, and Kovalev this and Kovalev that. I told people about Kovalev when he first came to the UK. And there are things about Kovalev. I told people when he came to the UK when he's going to fight cleverly, what he's about. He's a puncher, yes, but Kovalev lacks heart, and his chin's not the greatest. This was the same thing they said about Kovalev in the amateurs. Two things you can't teach: chin and heart. So, and I think one of the things about boxing, people today in boxing, they're scared of making predictions unless they're so sure. But you've got to be able to see a fight and say, okay, are we looking at a guy here that's got the ability or hasn't got the ability? To me, Yard shows he's got defensive skills, hit and not get hit. The counter punch over the top, the right hand over the top is one I think he's going to catch Kovalev with. I think Kovalev will come with that jab and he get caught over the top. He's not the fastest heavyweight in the world. He tends to drop the left hand when he throws the jab, so he's going to get caught with the right hand. Kovalev cannot box the instructions. Okay, he can't box the instructions. And in the rematch, Alvarez just followed him around the ring. This guy's going to be going to knock Kovalev out. I'm going with Yard by knockout. Brutal. Oh, really? I am. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I like Kovalev by decision. I think that Yard will have his moments. I think that he'll have his moments for sure. But I think that Kovalev will win the fight by decision.
I don't see it. No. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I can't see that. Listen, a super middleweight, Andre Ward has been not noticed as a puncher, yeah? He's not noticed as a puncher, and he was able to hurt Kovalev. He's not even a genuine light heavyweight. He was a super middleweight that moved up, but he was not a genuine light heavyweight. Andre Ward, you know, is known as a super middle that moved up, but his super middleweight days is what really people really gravitate to him about. And when Andre Ward fought Kovalev, everyone was talking about Kovalev being the big bad beast. And I told everybody, as when Andre Ward gets mid-range to up close with Kovalev, it's a done deal. And what we saw when Kovalev, when Ward came mid-range to up close against Kovalev, Kovalev can't fight. Kovalev can fight at long range when he can use a jab and throw the right hand. He's beautiful like that. You push Kovalev back, can't fight. Cannot fight. But everyone, carry on. Keep going. But make sure that you're back here. Because I'm sure this one. This one I'm sure of. And you got to stand out at some point. I'm not comparing Ward and... Please listen. I didn't say Ward and Yard are the same skill set. I didn't say that. Please listen. Listen. I said in terms of one being a super middle, one being a light heavyweight. Ward is a super middleweight that went up to light heavy. Not a bona fide light heavy. This guy's a light heavyweight that can move up to cruiser. So there's a big difference for me. But you got to stand on something, Uncle.
Kovalev wins the fight by decision.
We'll see. Why do you say this, Uncle?
I mean that Anthony Yard will have his moments in the fight. I'm sure if he comes to fight, you know. But I think that Kovalev will rise up to the occasion in Russia and maintain the title by decision. I think that Yard just hasn't been in with the caliber of fighter that Kovalev has been in. I think that's going to be a distinct difference going down the stretch in that fight. Yard hasn't fought nobody like Kovalev. Kovalev has been in the deep waters a few times, and he knows what to do. And I think that if Yard goes in the same deep waters, he won't know what to do. I think that he'll land some good punches. I think that he'll have his moments, but I think he loses the fight via decision, if not late stoppage.
If he wins, what will you say?
If he wins, what will I say? I'll say that he surprised me. He surprised me. But I just don't think that surprise will come to pass in this particular fight. I think that he's jumping from kindergarten to his first year of college.
Okay.
He just hasn't been in with the caliber of fighter that can prepare him to fight.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Name me one of the guys that Mike Tyson fought before he actually fought for the title.
Mike Tyson was a puncher.
Yes.
A puncher, a proven puncher.
Okay. All right.
Yard.
Whoa. He was a proven puncher. He was a proven puncher. Against whom? Before he fought for the title. Against whom? Name me, string me two. No, wait. String me 2 or 3 names that Mike Tyson fought without going to Google. String 3 guys' names up before he fought for the title.
Wait a minute. Mike Tyson was a proven puncher. He wasn't a proven puncher pre-title. He was a proven puncher after the title. That justified what he did before he won the title. What he did after he won the title proved that he was a puncher pre-winning the title.
Right. So, how many times has Anthony Yard gone the distance?
Huh?
How many times has Yard gone the distance?
I mean, Yard.
Yeah, talk to me.
I don't know.
All right. Okay. I was just wondering. I'm just saying that there's, okay, let's say he's moved from kindergarten to this level. All right. I get that. And I see that. But I also see something else as well. At kindergarten level, there are guys at kindergarten. Look, a lot of guys at kindergarten level that are getting dropped and hurt and wobbled and not getting guys out of there at kindergarten level. And still those guys have been talked about for world title shots. And nobody's thinking about it. This guy Yard is...
Are we comparing Anthony Yard to Mike Tyson?
No. I'm just...
No. Okay.
But wait. Hold on. Remember, you know as well as I do, Uncle, that Bill Caton, the people behind Mike Tyson said, we don't care. In the document, it said, we don't care. All we want Mike fighting every week is bum of the month. Bum of the week. Just seeing him knock guys out. Didn't matter who it was. Knocking these guys out. It put the fear in people and made Mike Tyson look like the baddest man on the planet. That was what they did with Mike Tyson. He was one of the greatest marketing. I'm not saying Mike couldn't fight now. I'm not saying Mike couldn't fight. But the way they went about building Mike Tyson up was incredible. But if you ask yourself the question, when Mike was knocking this guy out and knocking that guy out and knocking this guy out, who was he actually knocking out? And you would say to me...
Did you watch Mike Tyson in the amateurs?
Yes. Yeah. I saw Henry Tillman beat him in the amateurs. And then I saw Mike go knock Henry Tillman out in the pros. But I saw Audley Harrison win the Olympic gold as an amateur. But then I saw him fight as a pro. And I saw Mike in the amateurs. What did he do in the amateurs?
Mike Tyson's amateur career justified what he did as a pro.
Okay, sure.
It justified much of what he did as a pro. Because it wasn't that much difference in the demeanor.
Stop. Mike Tyson. Wait. Mike Tyson beat Larry Holmes. Do you know the backstory about Mike Tyson and Larry Holmes? Told by Larry Holmes himself. Larry Holmes, I was on the show. Larry Holmes, we were talking. I was on the same show as Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes said, he said that with Don King, he was said, this is the amount of time I'm giving you to fight Mike Tyson. Go and get yourself prepared and train for the fight. And then he turned back to Larry Holmes and said, no. You know what? You only got 2 weeks to prepare for this fight. Yeah. So basically, Larry was trying to get himself into shape. And then he said, no. You're going to have to fight Mike at this time. So they reduced the training time for Larry to get prepared to fight Mike Tyson. That's a true story. You can go check that one out, EJ Boxing. Go ahead and check that out as well. But go ahead. Sorry, Uncle Bashir, go ahead.
Yeah, Larry, I knew the story about Larry, right?
Yeah.
You know, Larry wanted that money. That's why he took the fight. Okay.
Leon Spinks, I know he was in the Olympics, right? Leon Spinks fought Muhammad Ali, right? How many fights did Leon Spinks have? What was... Wait. What was this to suggest in Spinks' record to suggest he would beat the great Muhammad Ali?
From my opinion, nothing.
Oh, okay. Isn't that from you talk about the great Muhammad Ali getting beat by Leon Spinks? Leon Spinks. Wait, let's go again. Curtin Lang from the UK. Curtin Lang beats Roberto Duran. Come on, talk to me. EJ Boxing, talk to me. Who knew that was going to happen? Wait, hold on. Let's go in further. Lloyd Hannigan against the undisputed pound for pound champion at the time, Donald Curry. What was there on paper to say that the Ragamuffin was going to beat Don Curry? Come on. Uncle Bashir, come on.
No.
Well, come on.
I mean, I didn't expect for anybody to beat Donald Curry at that time. I didn't expect Lloyd Hannigan to beat him. I didn't expect Leon Spinks to beat Ali.
There we go.
I didn't expect Buster Douglas to beat Mike Tyson.
There we go. So
I never saw none of those fights. I never saw none of those fights coming.
You can't keep pulling out upsets. Listen, what I'm trying to say is people say it's beyond the realms of possibility. with a guy who doesn't live the life in Kovalev, a guy that's been knocked down and knocked out by a guy who's not even a puncher in Andre Ward. I'm not knocking Andre Ward. I'm just saying. Upsets are there for a reason.
Kovalev, I mean, Andre Ward, you gotta admit, Andre Ward is a unique talent.
Yes.
Even at light heavyweight,
but,
even though he was a super middleweight, he's a unique talent.
Yes.
Coming into light heavyweight.
But can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Uncle Bashir? Is Kovalev the same guy in his soul and as a man, the same guy after he got beat by Andre Ward? Physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, is he the same guy?
I think mentally, he's not the same guy.
That's my point. That is my point. There's what I see there. I think Kovalev is a shell of himself. I don't think we do Kovalev any favors. He's a shell of the guy he was. Yes, he's a top-class pro and he did all these things, right? But his soul is not there. I said the same thing about James DeGale after he got beat by Baniak. It's when the soul goes. This guy is destroyed. Internally he's destroyed. You see it in the way he fights now. Not the same guy. Really not the same guy.
You have to be. When the soul goes, it's hard to restore it.
This is what I'm saying. When I look at Kovalev, I don't. If it was the Kovalev that fought pre-Andre Ward, no. No. Not the Kovalev that fought pre-Andre Ward. No. No. But this Kovalev, an aging Kovalev, Canelo himself wanting to move up from what? Where was he? Down at middleweight? Jump up to light heavyweight to fight Kovalev? So they must be seeing something there.
Well, we're going to see. We're going to see what Anthony Yard gets in that ring. That's this month, right?
Yeah, it's this month.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that Anthony Yard is ready mentally. I don't think so. I just don't see him jumping from 5th grade all the way to 12th grade. Think that he's going to win the title. And then he got to go to Russia to do it. I don't see it.
Yeah, but hold on. Wait. They made a very good point. If the fight was in America, it'd be different. Kovalev in Russia? Kovalev don't even live in Russia no more. He lives in America.
Yeah, he's still a Russian product.
Well, yeah. That's true.
He's still a Russian product.
Yeah,
he's
that's
still
true.
A Russian product.
Well, all right, but
and he's gonna be right at home when he steps in that ring.
That you know that don't change your chin. That don't change your heart. They don't change your chin or your heart, does it? It don't matter if Anthony Joshua was in the UK, he was in America, Mexico, or in the backyard with Andy Ruiz. What was going to happen?
The same kind of fight happening with Yard that Kovalev fought against Bernard Hopkins. I see the same kind of fight unfolding. I see the same kind of fight that Kovalev fought against Bernard Hopkins is going to unfold against Anthony Yard.
Okay, somebody asked a question. Ask Uncle if Yard beats Kovalev, does that mean he's special, going from kindergarten to college in one fight?
You have to repeat yourself again because you was going in and out.
Okay. Ask Uncle Bashir if Yard beats Kovalev, does that mean he's special, going from kindergarten to college in one fight?
If Yard beats Kovalev, well, it's the first time for everything. You know, I just don't see it. With the competition that Anthony Yard has fought thus far, I just don't see him breaking away from that competition and then leaping up to fight Kovalev.
But
and then got to fight him in Russia too. I don't see it happening.
Okay, all right. Let's look at it this way. How about the fact that the opposition he's fought so far, he's been levels above the opposition. He's been playing with the opposition. So there's got to be a level where, okay, he's blowing the opposition away. Where does he struggle? Does he struggle with a Kovalev? We don't know. But we know that at that level, the guys there are just not in his competition, not in his league, not in his class. So what's the gap between, and where is Kovalev now in terms of that gap?
I think Kovalev is on top of his game enough to beat an Anthony Yard. I just don't see Yard having enough experience, enough wolf in him to go out there and take that title from Kovalev. I don't see it.
Okay, say to Uncle, it was a dream to say to Uncle, theoretically speaking, if he beats Kovalev, surely he's special.
No. If he beats Kovalev, he beat what many people suspected was a used up.
Oh, come on, man! Stop that, Uncle. You can't do that.
Wait. People in general are gonna say, "Hey, it's like a catch-22." You know? I mean, if he beats the guy, if he beats Kovalev, everybody understand what you're saying. He was never the same after the Ward fight anyway. Okay? If he gets beaten by Kovalev, hey, he just didn't have enough experience going into the Kovalev fight. You know? So it's like a no-win situation for Anthony Yard. Now, if Anthony Yard goes in there and knocks him out, it's a different story. But that's what he's going to need to sway the thinking of most people that's invested in this fight.
If Yard
he needs to knock him out.
If he knocks him out inside 4 or 5 rounds, what do you say then?
I think that then Anthony Yard is on his way. I think that he would be on his way. I can legitimately say that Anthony Yard is on his way.
Now,
knock him outside of
the other thing is, I don't think Kovalev takes punches to the body very well either. Beer belly drinker. But anyway, that's another point.
Well, I don't think Keith Thurman takes punches to the body very well.
And I predicted Keith Thurman would get beat by Pacquiao.
I did too. I told Pacquiao in that fight.
Okay, who are you picking for Spence versus Porter, by the way?
Who?
Spence versus Porter.
My mind is saying Spence, but my heart is saying Porter.
Okay. Why?
I think it's going to be an ugly fight. I think the uglier the fight it is, the more it's going to benefit Sean Porter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that for ugly fight is the only fight that would benefit Sean Porter. Earl Spence is a horrendous body puncher.
Yeah, he is. But he needs space for that, doesn't he?
Huh?
He needs space for that, doesn't he? For those body shots.
I think Spence wins the fight via decision, possibly late stoppage. You know, I just don't see what Porter has to keep Spence off, or keep Spence in check, or make Spence back up from him. So I got Earl Spence to win the fight.
Okay.
The momentum is with Earl Spence.
Okay. Somebody ask Uncle what he's got against Anthony Yard.
I don't have anything against Anthony Yard. In fact, I like Anthony Yard. You know, as a human being and as a boxer, I like him, you know. But I'm also a realist when I'm asked a question. I just don't see what Anthony Yard has done thus far, where he can just come in and qualify to fight a Kovalev. Kovalev is a proven warrior.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, he is. Well,
you know.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it. I don't have anything against Anthony Yard. I like Anthony Yard as a person, as a fighter.
Yeah. So
I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm just calling a spade a spade.
He asked if Anthony Yard roughed up one of your boys in sparring.
Anthony Yard couldn't have roughed up one of my boys because he don't spar nobody that's worth Anthony Yard roughed up
We should. Look, listen. Yeah, I get it, right? He said, Yard bashed up ruined Vissa. That's why. Oh dear me. Oh dear, Uncle. I think. You know, I get everything.
Anthony Yard don't spawn nobody.
Well, logically speaking, Uncle. Logically speaking, all right. Logically speaking, I've been one of those guys that have said, you know what, Anthony Yard has not fought the opposition ready to prepare him for a world title shot. Anthony Yard has fought, you know, he needs to prepare. He needs a couple of 10-rounders where he fights some opposition that we can see how good he is. Anthony Yard, blah, 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 blah. I've said all those things. But I said, you know what? To hell with it. To hell with it. Because this one, I'm going to be a fantasist. I'm going to dream the dream. And I'm dreaming the dream. Somebody's got to dream the dream. I'll dream the dream. So for this fight, I'm dreaming the dream.
Yeah, I mean, anything is possible, but not likely. It's not likely. I think Kovalev is going to take Anthony to school, maybe from the 6th, 7th round on. He's going to take him to school. Kovalev is not just a slugger. He can box.
Yeah. Let's make sure that left hook. Let's make sure that counter right, that punch over the right hand over the top doesn't connect on Kovalev between rounds 1 to 6.
Yeah, and make sure that Anthony don't get hit by Kovalev's left hook. All right.
Okay.
Kovalev is a good, dependable left hooker.
Yeah.
You know, he's a dependable and he's accurate with it. He's surprisingly accurate.
Do you know what I'd like to, do you know what my dream for this fight would be? My dream for this fight would be for Yard to get dropped early in the fight, get up, and then drop Kovalev in the same round, and then they go back and forth, and then Yard stops him about 9 or 10 rounds.
That would be ideal for him.
Yeah, Ruben, it's not a dream it, believe it, become it, right? But Ruben says, dream it, believe it, regret it. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, Uncle, is there anything else you want to talk to us about as well? Oh, how is Vlad Serenka getting on?
Vlad's going to fight again on February 11th in Germany.
February the 11th?
I mean, October 11th.
Oh, about to say.
October 11th, he'll fight again. But he's doing all right. He's progressing.
What are your thoughts on this boy, Tank Davis?
He looks to be legitimate.
Okay.
You know, but you can't tell until you're in with all the legitimate fighters. I mean, the guys he's fighting, you know, he's agreed to fight those guys.
What did you... Go.
The guys he's fighting, he's got to face Lomachenko. He has got to face the farmers. He's got to step up now.
Yeah, he does. He does.
You know, people don't want to see these kind of fights where he's going in and knocking people out 1, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. You don't know the guys, who they are. You know nothing. There's no appeal to the guys in fight. You got to step up and fight the guys.
I agree. I agree. Marky, I told you about Keith. Keith, what did you think of Keith before and after, Uncle?
Keith who?
Thurman. T-Rex arm.
Thurman is a good fighter, but I don't think he can beat Errol Spence.
That was funny.
He gets hurt to the body. That's the second time I saw him really hurt to the body.
All that talking before the fight. All that talking before the fight. All that talking. Oh my gosh.
he got his behind whooped by Pacquiao. He got beat up.
To get dropped in the first round, though, T-Rex arms. Bop, bop, bop.
I think the scorecards was too close in that fight.
Yeah, they were. They were.
That was ridiculous. When they said split decision, I was like, what? I was like, what? Split decision?
Wait, how do you come back from that? Like, you're a young man and you get an ass whooping by Pacquiao, a 40-year-old.
It's the same thing with Floyd Mayweather. With all the young guys he beat.
Yeah, right. But them guys weren't talking the stuff that Keith was talking.
The same thing that Larry Holmes beat a lot of young guys. Look what Larry Holmes beat Ray Mercer.
That was amazing, that fight where he beat Ray Mercer. I couldn't believe it.
And he beat Maurice Towers.
He beat Ray Mercer with a beer belly. And he was beating him up, and he looked at the camera and says, "Watch this," and he was punching him up against the ropes. I will never forget that fight.
Yeah. So you can't replace knowledge with youth. Can't replace knowledge with youth.
Uncle, you have been. It was a dream said this to you. He says, tell Uncle, my dream would be for Yard to uppercut Kovalev out of the ring into Uncle's lap ringside.
Tell him that I said, just say no to drugs.
Did you see that guy the other day? The guy the other day, Cheney, and he knocked the guy for the ropes. He hit him so hard he fell through the ropes. Did you see that fight?
Who was the fight?
Cheney's fight. I don't know who's fighting. Cheney, heavyweight.
I might have saw it. I see so many fights. I might have saw it. Don't remember.
Yeah, he got knocked through the ropes.
It was early in the fight, right?
Yeah.
It was early in the fight.
EJ, you're still back here, man. You should be doing your own show, man. Not here listening to me. You should be doing your show. You back here again? You got time, boy. You got time to be on my show. You should be on your own show, man. You should be having Uncle Bashir on your show. It's all love, though, brother. It's all love. Go ahead.
EJ is a good guy.
He is a good guy. Of course he's a good guy. Yes, Denise, good to see you in the room. Is there anything in boxing recently you've seen that's turned you off, Uncle?
There's always something in boxing that turns me off, as opposed to yesteryear. I'm just old-fashioned, and a lot of the new antics and approaches to boxing doesn't settle well with me, especially all of this drug use. People injecting this and injecting that, and they're screwing up the sport. And I still say that there's nothing like lifetime bans to cure what's happening. If you want to cure what's happening, you have to put up a lifetime ban.
Yes.
Panama Lewis and Jose Resto some years ago, they banned them for life for tampering with gloves. Jose Resto and Panama Lewis doing the Billy Collins fight. They tampered with the gloves. They were found guilty. They went to prison. And when they came out, they were not allowed to work in any corner in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, they banned them.
Wow. I heard a lot about Panama Lewis. He weren't easy.
Yeah, they didn't allow them in no corner. You couldn't get a cornerman's license.
But look,
license working at corner.
But wait, look at Margarito. Look what he did to Cotto's career. Imagine that Cotto didn't fight Margarito that night.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is that nobody picked up on it. That's the big thing. Nobody picked up on what was happening. Nobody picked up on it. Nobody caught it. I think Nazim Richardson.
Yes, with Mosley.
Yeah, during the pre-Mosley, Nazim Richardson picked up on it.
Of course.
What he was doing.
Yeah, of course.
So prior to that time, they probably was doing that a lot of times. I tell you one thing, it puts a big shadow on the career of Antonio Margarito.
Of course it does.
You know.
Did you
remember years ago, a young boxer, I was training a young boxer down in New Jersey. Harvey Dock, who is now a really good referee.
Yes.
I was training Harvey Dock at the time. And Harvey Dock was a really young guy then. And he asked me, we were at my house and we were watching old fights. Just watching old fights. It was part of our training regime. And Doc asked me, he said, do you think that plaster of Paris, that's what they call it, plaster of Paris, right?
Yeah.
Do you think plaster of Paris was a culture in the Mexican style of boxing? That's the question that Harvey Dock asked me. And it was a good question because I thought to myself, I said, could that have been the case? Could that have been the case that they was using plaster of Paris throughout the Mexican culture?
Wow.
Because they had a reputation for being hard punches. Alfonso Zarate, Alfonso Zamora, Julio Cesar Chavez, Bobby Chacon, and countless Lupe Pintor, you know, the countless Mexican fighters over the years have been noted to be hard punches. So when he asked me that question, it gave way to thought. And my thought said, could that have been the case? You know, that was plaster of Paris a custom in Mexican boxing. So it certainly puts a shadow on the career of Antonio Cervantes because who's to say that he wasn't doing that throughout his career?
It Was a Dream says, Ingram organized paid meet and greet with Uncle Bashir. Well, if Uncle Bashir would stick to his dates, that would be possible. But Uncle Bashir's here, there, and everywhere. Aren't you, Uncle?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Work with me, please. All the people work with me. I want to see the people, too. I want to come to see the people. But,
yeah. You know, Uncle, we know those people are still waiting for you in London, you know. We have the whole table and chairs. They're still waiting for you to arrive, you know.
Yeah, I want to, man. I want to. I'm here with Evander Hubberson. You know, right now, this is a big fight for both of us.
Of course.
And we really want to do a good job.
Yeah.
You know, as Evander says, she doesn't want to go into the ring and embarrass herself.
Yeah, I know that.
You know?
I know that.
So everything we put our best foot forward to win this fight.
Evander's trained like a Trojan. I know that. What did you make? What did you make of that video I did of video I made of celebrity trainers? Now that who's now gone to Roach? Somebody's gone to Roach. Some fighter's gone to Roach now.
I thought that was a good segment that you did there.
Okay.
That was quite necessary. You know, the people today, the young people today, really does not understand the techniques, the application of boxing. They see boxing from a face value. but they don't understand the logistics, the grease that makes the wheel turn. You know, they got more to understand about the sport than what they do understand about it. You know, so going forward, they have to make better assessments of what's going on. So yeah, I think that celebrity trainers, for the most part, are full of it. You know, and I think those people working with those celebrity trainers should get more credit, more respect. You know, if I ever get to a point where I got trainers working under me, I'm going to make sure that they get light. I'm not gonna stomp out their light, you know, because they're the ones coming after me. So I want to make sure that they have an easier road than what I had. I worked around a lot of top trainers, but none of those trainers saw fit to say, hey, this guy is a good trainer. This guy is going to be something coming in the coming years, you know. None of them did that. None of them did that because they acted like they were going to live forever, and they didn't live forever, you know, which is quite apparent. So I want to be a better person than what those guys were to me. I want trainers to work under me. I want to teach trainers. You know, I want to teach those trainers that are working on me. I want to teach them how boxing is supposed to go. They can draw their own conclusions as to what and what not to do later on. But I want them to learn the logistics of boxing from me. And I want to give them credit.
Yes.
So that they'll have an easier life, an easier growth in the sport than what I've had. Like I said, I've worked with some top guys, and none of those guys saw fit to say, hey, this guy is a good trainer. None of them.
Yeah.
So now you got celebrity trainers out there, you know, and the pundits are as much the fault as the trainers themselves.
Yes, they are.
Because you get the celebrity trainer, they're all over the place. They got 15, 20 fighters. So how could they do that? They do that with other trainers working underneath them. But they never take out the time to say, hey, look, I want to give these trainers that's working under me, I want to give them some credit. This is John Johnson, Joe Baxter, whoever the person might be. I want to give these guys credit and let people know that these guys, without them, my success as a trainer could not be possible. Have you ever heard Freddie Roach do that?
No.
Have you ever heard Teddy Atlas do that?
Well, hell no.
Have you heard any? None of them don't do it. They don't get the training. They don't get respect.
See, so Dogbo, I think Dogbo has decided to go to Freddie Roach. I said that's a disaster waiting to happen. I think Dogbo has now decided to go to Freddie Roach. That's a disaster waiting to happen.
Again, celebrityism.
The only reason why you go to Freddie Roach is to get yourself knocked out. You're guaranteed to get knocked out and get Freddie Roach. Because if his training don't knock you out, his words will get you knocked out.
He's got that go forward mentality, and it's going to get you knocked out.
Absolutely. No defense, just go straight forward.
You know, let them go. Embrace celebrity trainers because they think something. I guess they come for something magic or something.
Celebrity.
I work with this trainer.
Yeah, but it tells you a lot about the management, and it tells you a lot about the people, the boxers themselves, that have not researched the trainers. I think celebrity trainers are ruining boxing and potentially robbing us of world-class fighters and legendary fighters.
They think that something magic is going to happen. Something's going to happen magic when they step in the ring.
It's not going to happen.
The only thing that's going to happen magic is what they do with their fists, with their heart, with their mind. That's what's going to happen. My thinking about boxers and trainers is that boxers should find someone that they're comfortable with. Someone that's not just a cheerleader, but a teacher. A teacher. And as we know about teachers in the world, all teachers have had to be taught by another teacher. Teachers just don't happen. You know, teachers happen over time.
Absolutely.
Over application.
Yes.
That's what makes them teachers. So we have to find out, you know, what happens when they get good teachers.
Yeah, Ruben Guerrero says that Adam Booth is one of the best trainers in the world. He then goes on to say that Freddie Roach is an offensive wizard. That's why Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez. It was too offensive. That's why he got knocked out.
Offensive. I mean, how do you describe a defensive wizard? I mean, offensive. He said offensive wizard or defensive wizard?
An offensive wizard.
Defensive.
No, offensive.
Yeah. How do you describe an offensive wizard? Go forward and throw punches? He didn't say go forward and throw punches. He didn't say double the jab, feint, and then throw the right hand, left hook. He just said go forward, be offensive. That's why Manny Pacquiao got knocked out.
That's why Khan got knocked out. That's why Julio Cesar Chavez got knocked out. Jr. got knocked out. They all got knocked out in 1 year. Nobody talks about it.
Nobody's going to talk about that. Of course not. It's Freddie Roach. He's Freddie Roach. He's perfect.
But if that happened to your fighters now, oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, if that happened to a lesser person on the world scale, they'll look at me as a lesser person and say, well, look what happened. You got 3 fighters that got knocked out 3 times in a year. You know, I got the trainer in Poland that was in camp with me there. Two top fighters got knocked out inside of 3 weeks. Izu Ogano and then Spilska. They had the same trainer. Both of them got knocked out inside of the 4 rounds. Both guys were knocked out. So that would shed a bad light on the guy's training skills.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's not good. It's not good at all.
No, it's not good.
Oh, before we go, the Anthony Joshua update. Have you noticed now that he's gone all Afrocentric?
What?
He's gone all Afrocentric. He's in Africa now, and he's all around his family. And have you noticed?
No, I haven't noticed anything about that. Send me some update.
Yeah, he's in Africa now. He's in Africa, in Nigeria, and he's yeah. I think I don't do soul searching, but he's all around his family now. All Nigerian people around him. I noticed when he was world champion, he didn't see any of that. But now suddenly, everywhere you see Anthony Joshua in Africa, he's around in Africa. He's around his people.
Well, you know, it's probably got a rude awakening. You know, a spiritual awakening.
That's not gonna help. That's not gonna help him, though.
He's got to get somebody to teach him.
I heard the stories that he was trying to get Hayes' old trainer to train him. The same guy that trained what's his name? Joyce. Not Sanchez, the other guy.
The little Mexican, the little Cuban guy?
Yeah, he wanted him to train him.
Oh, goodness. Well, he's jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. If that's the case, okay? Jumping out the frying pan into the fire. Because everybody is not a heavyweight trainer. Everybody can't train heavyweights.
It says, Ruben Gray says, Femi has always been an active member of the diaspora.
Come again, say it again.
He says that Ruben says that Femi has always been an active member of the diaspora.
Meaning what? I'm missing the point. It's over my head.
He said, well, he says Femi has always been an active member of the diaspora.
Who's Femi?
Anthony Joshua.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
God.
Oh, God. No comment. No comment. No comment.
Oh dear. No, honey. He said, that's over all our heads, they're saying. Yeah, definitely, no comment.
Anthony Joshua's got a tough fight ahead of him versus Ruiz. Ruiz is getting comfortable in the role of being heavyweight champion. I think an instant rematch is not a good idea for him. I'm not sure Anthony wants any part of it. I think that he's just doing it. But he's going to have a tough fight with Ruiz. Win, lose, or draw, he's going to have a tough fight.
He's got problems. And Ruiz says he's going to come in a stone lighter for the next fight. His team.
If he comes in any faster than what he was, it's going to be really problems for Anthony Joshua.
I'm saying he comes in a stone lighter. Josh is going to have big problems. Big problems. A stone lighter.
Today's boxing pundits and fans and so-called trainers, have no understanding, no concept of what boxing is really related to. You
You're
think
right.
that because you give some instructions in the corner, that makes the difference. You think because somebody is saying apply this technique, apply that technique, that makes the difference. There's so many things that's embodied in making up a good professional boxer. I know those things. I know because I learned under the old teachers, and they only come to pass when trainers, teachers invest themselves in the boxer,
Yeah.
and the boxers likewise invest themselves in the teacher. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So Joshua's got a mountain to climb.
It was a dream. It was all a dream. Says Ruiz beat the blackness into AJ. He says Andy Ruiz beat the blackness into AJ.
Anthony Ruiz beat the blackness of AJ.
No, beat the blackness into AJ. Hence why he's in Africa now.
Oh man. Oh, that's funny.
He says, Whyte has always been representing community, not a jolly come lately.
Well, Whyte just got to stay clear of the drug allegations.
Yeah, he does.
He's got to get around that. He's got to get around that. Even being associated with that, it's not a good look for him. He's got to get away from that aura.
Well, it's quite interesting. It's interesting because after Miller called Joshua out for being on PEDs, Miller got done for PEDs. Then Whyte called Joshua out for PEDs, and he got done for PEDs as well. Very interesting. But Whyte said that Joshua goes to Dubai to cycle off the PEDs when he's in Dubai. Interesting now that he's not in Dubai, but he's in Nigeria. Interesting.
Cycle off the fence.
Yeah.
No comment. I know all of you need to get away from it. This is a sport where you use PEDs and stuff. It takes the best out of sports.
Of course it does.
And anybody caught using it should, I say again, be banned for life.
Absolutely.
No second chances. You got caught, so go find something else to do. Then you can't come back.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Uncle, is there anything else you want to say before you leave us tonight?
Yeah, all the people out there using drugs and stuff, that's using injections, anabolic or human growth hormones or whatever the case.
Or up the bottom, as Ali Adams, or up the bottom, or as Ali Adams did.
Yeah. you know, for those people that use them, it's not a good look. It's not helping the sport. You know, it might help you instantly, but what happens later on with your kidneys and your liver, gallbladder, things like that, your spleen, all that stuff that gets messed up from these drugs.
Yeah.
You know, they think that you could just run it out in your body. Everybody's a doctor now. Everybody's a MD. You know, I can take the drugs if I flush it out at this time, it won't affect my kidneys. Everybody's got their degree, you know, on how to use drugs. And they're screwing the sport up. They're screwing everything up. It's taking the sport out of sport. What happened to good old-fashioned hard work to come in and fight and win on it? Now you got to come in and observe this and observe that to make sure nobody giving no injections.
Yes.
And you don't know who you're facing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're trying to fight this person, but when that person takes those drugs, that person becomes something else, becomes a monster.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That could ultimately kill somebody inside the ring. So how do you do that, kid? How do you look the other way?
Yeah.
And the justification that most fighters use is that everybody's doing it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what a lot of people believe. So with that sort of thought process, people think
now,
that
a lot of people don't believe that. They just saying that just to justify them using it. They don't believe that. A lot of people don't believe that. But they do it now because they might have a friend or a friend of a friend that's using it.
Hey, listen.
So they come back and say everybody's doing it.
If you pay for my ticket to go to Colombia, I will go to Colombia and meet Uncle, and I'll get you back in interview. You pay for my ticket, I'll go to Colombia. There you go. There, somebody said here, Ingram, you want to go to visit Uncle? I'll pay for your ticket as long as I'm there. I like that one.
Yeah, you know, I just again about the drug situation. You know, these guys, they can't do that to have a successful sport. You can't get a successful sport because then it becomes a death sport. You know, a person that's on drugs, they can't feel certain things. You know, they can't even think clearly. They think like they're superhuman beings, and they may feel like it from themselves. And that causes the other person who is normal to go through some kind of situation where they could be hurt or even killed.
Do you know the drug they don't talk about, Uncle?
What's that?
Adulation.
Who?
Adulation.
What is that?
It's when fighters shouldn't be in the ring no more, but they can't get away from the fans, and the fans worshiping them, and the attention of the fans when their career is done, when they've taken too many punches to the head, and they still want to come back and box when they should medically not be boxed anymore.
All those people were affected by the fighters. All the fighters of the past, Ray Robinson, Ali, Leonard, you know, all those guys.
That's the biggest drug of them all, Uncle. That's the biggest drug of them all.
Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is.
One fight too many.
You know, of course it is. You know, even Floyd Mayweather is addicted. Floyd Mayweather is addicted to stardom. You know, it seems to me, you know, I won't say what he is or isn't addicted to, but it seems to me that he's addicted to the limelight. He's addicted to attention, adulation from fans. He can't sit his ass down.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, he's got to be in the camera. He's got to be in the mix. He's got to be there. That's adulation, the drug adulation. I need this. I need to stay relevant, you know? And I noticed that about him. He can't keep quiet. He can't sit down. He can't assume the position of normal citizen, normal Joe.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Floyd Mayweather having to be like Al Heyman?
Oh boy.
They would kill him.
Can you imagine Eddie Hearn becoming like Al Heyman?
They would kill him. You know? Adulation. A boxers come and go in there adulation.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, they just don't want to leave the limelight.
Okay.
That's what made Sugar Ray Leonard
Come back.
keep coming back, you know. Sugar Ray Leonard had to keep coming back, you know, because he just missed the limelight.
Yeah, you're right.
Ali, Muhammad Ali, Ray Robinson, you know, and who knows of the countless others? Roy Jones.
Yep.
They just can't, you know, leave that drug alone.
I don't know. I keep getting this feeling, and I don't know where I'm getting this feeling from. I've got no evidence of it, but I've got a funny feeling we're going to see a lot of older English fighters making comebacks. Don't know why.
Oh, please.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
No, it's bad for the sport. Those guys are going to get hurt.
I'm telling you. Uh-huh. All right.
With all the ring fatalities that's happening now, they don't need those people coming back.
I can feel it though, Uncle. I can just feel it. One night only pay-per-view. I can feel it. Whether that be a Tony Bellew, Macronelli, someone like that coming back. I can see it.
Oh, please.
I'm telling you, Uncle. Can feel it.
Those hard punches. Boxing for me is and have been a sport that's over. You know, it's a sport that's a young man's sport.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
It's a young man's sport. You know, and the old timers come back. They come back and they get hurt.
You're right.
You know, they get hurt. They get the sport a bad
thing. The illusion you think of what it's like when you were younger, and then you get in the ring and get hit again. It's one sport that you can't play. You know.
Yeah, you open an old can of worms.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. Uncle,
okay,
we're done.
I'm going to get this. I'm going to get on with my day, and I'll see you later, man.
All right. Uncle Bashir, as always, thank you so much.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Take care. Bless you.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Right. Excellent stuff there with Uncle Bashir. Gave us almost 2 hours of his time. Hopefully, I should be hearing back from Mike Tyson's former trainer, Stacey McKinley, current trainer of Trevor Bright. He might be calling in later on. If he does, we'll be back here. Thank you all so much. It was a dream. Thank you so much for your donations. Really appreciate your donations. It always helps. And thank you all so much, as always, for Ruben Guerrero's comical moments. And the rest of you in the room, the loyalists. Really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I'll be back later, hopefully. If not, join me over live streaming over at BWTM Sports, where we're continuing to chase the title as Arsenal football team. See you over on BWTM Sports.